Good morning, Great White Buddha. Wearing my Pai shirt. This is from Jack's Beach. Shout out to my old stomping grounds, Jacksonville, Florida. But the tie-dye thing fits in very well here in Pai Thailand. So, another day, May 4th. It's a Monday morning, and that's Nui. So, Sawadi Nui. Facebook, yeah, Chai, that's little Nui. She's one of the ladies that works here. Ooh, I don't know where Ooh is. She's out. Oh, she's cleaning the parking lot. Like I said, that Ooh's always got her a rag in her hand. Today she has her kid with her because I don't know, her husband couldn't watch the kid, so she's out sweeping the parking lot, which is a taskless job, if you ask me. I would never occur to me to sweep a freaking parking lot. My girlfriend told me something about leaves getting in the drainage and clogging the drainage. So I get, there's a reason they're not just doing it for fun. But I mentioned Thai people being very clean before. There's a guy across the street who has a little convenience store, and he's out sweeping the steps and the gutter. Once again, Thai people are super fastidious, clean, not dirty like a lot of countries I've been in around the world outside America. Like I mentioned, Haiti, India, Honduras, where the towns I've been in, at least, where I don't know how anybody could live in conditions like that, to be honest with you. So the good news is we hit 3,200 baht gross yesterday, so a little bit over $100, and that's the magic number that I've been trying to reach since I got here and took over, during Corona, because that's the break-even point. So as to why I bought this place, people at this point are like, dude, are you an idiot? Why did you pay money to lose money? In January of this year, not last year, which was higher, and 18, which was even higher, because tourism actually declined in Thailand last year from the 2 years before. But in January of 2020, this restaurant and guest house grossed 240,000 baht for 1 month. So when your overhead is 150,000 baht, I mean, that's good money. 90,000 baht, $3,000 US. Now that's high season. That's pre-Corona. Corona hadn't blown up, certainly in January. I really arrived in March 4th is when I got to Thailand. That's really when it started to, pick up steam and get more cases and deaths, and started to really scare the shit out of people. And everything started to get slow and then eventually closed down. But yesterday, here's my my POS system for now. Is they write down veggie burger 220 baht, banana split 110 baht. So that's one order, one person, 220 baht on a little piece of paper. Add them up at the end of the night. We grossed 1769 for the day. April 30th this was. 500 went to go into the market, getting avocados or mangoes or onions or bacon or whatever the hell we needed. So that left us with a net of 1269. And I put it in my little spreadsheet every day, tracking the numbers, seeing what are the good days, what are the bad days. I've been trying everything that I know, every marketing trick, every business trick. It's a challenge, to be honest with you. It's a challenge for me to take a failing business, which this is during Corona. It's obviously not failing pre and after, post-Corona, but to take a business that's got lackluster numbers and, basically my goal is to make it the best restaurant guest house in Pai. That's my goal. We'll see if I get there. I think the music I plan to do, build a deck out in the parking lot. I'm paying for the parking lot. I want to use it. I want to monetize it. I want to get money from something I'm paying for every month. So we're going to turn the parking lot out into a deck. Plastic chairs and tables, have live music, sell a lot of beer, sell a lot of snacks. So yesterday we hit 3,200, which is good. You know, you can see we're doing 1,200, 1,600. That's half of where we need to grow. So yesterday's a step in the right direction. We've actually had 2 really good strong days. They've allowed the sale of alcohol for takeaway only, but that helped. I thought 800 or 1,000 baht worth of alcohol the first day. So I also went and got an American bourbon, Buffalo Trace. For those of you who know bourbon, the unicorn, the holy grail of bourbon is called Pappy Van Winkle. And they put out a 12-year product, 15-year, and a 23-year aged bourbon. And, I mean, they're going for like $3,000 a bottle on the secondary market. So Pappy Van Winkle, since 1992, has been distilled in the Buffalo Trace distillery in Kentucky, not the original Stitzel Weller. And Weller's a whole nother brand of bourbons. That's the darling of the collector set right now. From Stitzer Weller, but once again, that they haven't since it's either 92 or 2000. To Google it and check my numbers. I know it was 02, 92 or 02. But anyway, it's been in Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace has been making the whiskey for the Van Winkle family now for at least 20 years, and then they hand select the barrels. So after the whole Weller thing and W.L. Weller, William LaRue Weller, Weller Antique, Weller Special, after those have all played out and gone up to $300, $500 a bottle, people now are starting to hit the Buffalo Trace distillery and their other products that they put out, including their own brand named Buffalo Trace. So I went and picked up a bottle. We'll get closer. You can see it. Buffalo Trace right there and up there. Buffalo Trace bourbon from the U.S. One shot, 250 baht. On the rocks, neat, or with a splash of water, 300 baht. So 32.5 baht to $1. So you're talking about almost 10 bucks for a drink. That bottle you can get for $25 or $30 in liquor stores in the U.S. And if you like bourbon, I recommend it. It's really, really good tasting stuff. I paid 1,700 baht for it, which is a little over $50 because I'm in Thailand. And that's wholesale. I paid $50 wholesale for that bottle. But here's the thing. Because I had trouble getting it, the customers will have trouble getting it too. And so for anybody who really likes bourbon, that's a good quality bourbon. Like I said, there's that whole thing. If you Google Pappy Van Winkle, you'll read the story. It's a good bourbon. It's a good whiskey, Pappy, but no bottle of whiskey is worth $3,000. So the whole hype machine, the hype train, Anthony Bourdain, who I love, I thought he was a great presenter, host. Okay cook. He'll be the first to tell you he wasn't that good a chef, but he was. I loved his TV stuff. I loved his book, Kitchen Confidential. Anyway, on his show, he said that if God made bourbon, that's what it would taste like. Pappy Van Winkle, 23, and he's a very popular guy. A lot of people like him, not just me. So the bourbon took off after that, and it took a life of its own on, because you think about it. The distiller has to pay $150 for a 53-gallon oak barrel, American oak, and then they char it. They burn the inside of it and torch it, and that's what gives the bourbon its color. Because bourbon starts out like any other distilled product, clear. They call it white dog in the bourbon industry, and it looks like moonshine, just clear moonshine. And then by storing it in a barrel for at least 2 years, it picks up flavor from the charred oak, and the char also acts as a filter. Jack Daniel's filters their whiskey through charcoal. Well, the oak barrel that's been charred works the same way. As the spirit goes in and out of the barrel through evaporation and condensation, part of it is evaporates away. They call it the angel share. And the part that comes back has been filtered through the char, and it picks up color, which is where you get burn, it gives a brown color from the clear, and it picks up oakiness, a little wood taste, a little bit, not unpleasant, and it also gives it like caramel and vanilla notes. So typical America, because bourbon is absolutely an American product, even though now the Japanese are doing whiskeys and every place else. And you can get bourbon from New York State, you can get bourbon from Texas. I know there's a big issue that just came out of Texas. It's getting a lot of love right now. Virginia, a lot of states are doing it, but the epicenter of it was Kentucky. And so to a lot of bourbon aficionados, it's not bourbon unless it comes from charred American oak white barrels in Kentucky. and part of that is the water. They say that New York pizza is the best pizza in the world because of the water. And you think of New York City and you're like, water, isn't that disgusting? But no, they actually have good water from upstate New York, the Catskills. So anyway, the water is runs over limestone naturally in Kentucky, and so the water that they add to the bourbon to proof it down, starts out pure whiskey is 95 proof, right? 95 to 100 proof, which means 100% alcohol, right? Double the percentage of alcohol is your proof. And there's laws to call it bourbon and bottle it. It has to be a certain proof. So the people who know about this stuff, the people who are paying $200 for a pour of the Pappy Van Winkle, Buffalo Trace is the next big thing. I should be able to get $250 a shot and 300 baht. I'm sorry, I said bucks, which is like, once again, $10 US. The 250 would be roughly $8 US. I should be able to get that here. Not for everybody. Not everybody has that kind of money to spend, but those who know what it is will pay for it. When I sell that bottle out, there's 25 shots in a 750 milliliter bottle, right? It's 30 milliliters is 1 ounce. I've done all the math, guys. You don't leave anything to chance. If you don't know these numbers, you're running a hobby and not a business, if that makes sense. So 30 milliliters equals 1 ounce. 1 ounce is 1 shot. 1.5 ounces is a pour. That's where the 300 baht comes in. For on the rocks or with a splash of water or neat in an old-fashioned glass. So when I sell that bottle out, when it's empty, and that might be 6 months or a year. I mean, that's another factor, but whenever it's empty, it's empty. I'll have made 6,200 baht, which is over $200. So that $50 bottle of whiskey, I'm running like a 21% food cost on it. And that is a long-term thing. There's some things that you're going to buy that take a while to sell. Booze is one of them, unless you're a happening bar that people come every Friday night. And when I have the music, we'll sell more. We'll sell more alcohol in the summer when the music's playing out on the deck. So it might take 2 or 3 months to sell 2 shots right now. It's all right. It's an investment in the future. I've got the money. I can buy it out. It's cool. Give you an update on the painting. The gentleman is typical Thai. He's an overachiever. So I hired him to paint the 2 bathrooms, the one down here and the one upstairs. And he proceeded to paint the bathroom upstairs with 3 coats, 1 of primer, 2 of color, in one day. And also he started to paint the walls, which is good because those walls were grungy. I pointed out the other day on the video the marks from shelves and stuff. It needed paint, but I was going to do that later, but screw it. He's there, he's painting. What the hell? That's ooh, by the way. Sawadee, ooh, sawadee. So that's the little hard-working girl who's always sweeping, wiping. She's just a friggin' workaholic. I never see her sit down and take a break. She just a little dynamo. So that's the day shift, and then at 4 o'clock, the night shift comes on. Miss Ket, she's an older lady in her 50s, heavy set, great cook. I had her do this spaghetti carbonara last night just to see what it tasted like, and then bacon, egg. I mean, it was good. It wasn't like Italy, but hey, this is Pai Thailand. It was good. It was an acceptable carbonara. I was really impressed that the Thai lady could cook the hell out of Thai food, cook the hell out of Middle Eastern food, and cook the hell out of Italian food, which we term Western food here. It was, tasty. Go Miss Ket. And then Yui also speaks, Nui, the little girl, speaks English. Yui, the night lady, also speaks English. So out of the four, two of them speak English. There's always an English speaker because most of our customers are Farang, which once again, Farang means foreigner in Thai. So our guy upstairs, the local who needed the cash, he's painting the hell out of the place. There's 2 walls done already. It looks better. Just a nice coat of a light green, lime green paint. My girlfriend picked the color out at the paint store. I'm okay with it. I just didn't like how dirty and grungy it was looking. So bathroom upstairs is done. Cut in and everything. Really good job. And now he's working today on finishing the room upstairs. And we don't want to paint down here while we're open, and we close Wednesday every week, so he's going to come back Wednesday to do the downstairs bathroom. But I'll show you upstairs. When he's done, he's like probably more than half done now. The upstairs completely done. Great job. So I talk about the cost of labor here. The Thais. The local Thai people work dirt cheap. And part of that is, it's funny because in America, there's a lot of resentment about illegals coming across the border and taking jobs. And it's the same thing here. In a lot of ways, Thailand is like a mini U.S. It's no coincidence that we're opening up right now on a limited basis, with rules. And so is the U.S. The timing there is they shut down pretty reluctantly because they wanted to make money. The government here loves money, just like the government in America likes money. And the government in Germany likes money, and the government, the governments around the world like money. So they really didn't want to shut down to tourists and stop the flights, but they had to, because of Corona. So they shut down around the same time the U.S. did, right? Middle of March, end of March. Was when things really locked down here. And the U.S. is opening up, May 1st, May 2nd, May 3rd, and so is Thailand. Limited. Masks. I got my mask with me. I was eating, drinking my carrot juice. So, real quick as an aside on this, a lot of people start a project, start to do something, and then don't finish it. This carrot juice doesn't do me any good unless I drink it every freaking day. So that's the key, is to keep going. Well, I guess my phone is tired of me talking because it just shut off. But my point about the cucumber is if you eat it, if you chop up a cucumber and eat it in a salad, your body, the acid will break it down and use it, but that takes several hours, and you don't release those enzymes and cells and vitamins and minerals. If you have a juicer like we have, the centrifugal juicer, it pulverized that cucumber and carrot and celery and mashes it and releases those cells. So you're drinking the pure water with the enzymes, and think live growth. Dean says, if you can get the carrots with the roots, the green roots on them, get them. Why? Because those roots are alive and growing. Think about when you leave a fruit or a vegetable too long and it starts sprouting. That sprout shit's good. It's life. It's energy. It's alive. Think about it. Do you want to eat dead things or do you want to eat live things? And you want to eat live things. So that's what juicing's all about. It's helping me, definitely. I've noticed a difference. I got a lot more energy, Check it out. Do your own research. There's a guy named Walker, Dr. Norman Walker, who wrote a book on juicing back in the 50s, 30s, 50s, a long time ago. But amazingly, everything he said back then is still true today. Now here's a real breakfast. If you're in Thailand, this is what you need to be eating. Rice food. Rice food. Rice food. And then papaya and cucumber. So a little bit of vegetable, a little bit of meat, and some rice. Here, let me get the better looking part of the two of us in the picture. That's what she's going to eat. When I first came here, I thought people would eat with chopsticks, you know. Asians eat with chopsticks, you know. Americans, including me, are funny sometimes. Really, Thai people eat with a combination of a fork and a tablespoon. So I don't know where her fork is. This is the first time I've seen her without a fork. Usually she uses the spoon in one hand and the fork in the other. Like she'll push the food onto the spoon with the fork. So I learned something, you know, Thai people doing the spoon and fork and not chopstick. Now, if you go for something called shabu shabu, which is like a little domed grill, and you cook the meat on a communal plate in the middle, they use chopsticks for that, obviously. The tablespoon and fork aren't going to work for reach onto a hot grill. But that's it. That's the only time I've seen them do that. When I was doing my ramen for friggin' 1 month in the hotel rooms with the quarantine, self-quarantine for 2 weeks, and then government quarantine for a week, 2 weeks, I was eating my ramen noodles with chopsticks and then just sipping from the cup. But like I said, it's the spoon, the tablespoon, and the fork. And, you know, obviously that's a Western thing. You know, the Asian people in general don't use silverware; they use chopsticks. Chinese, Japanese. So Thailand, one of the reasons I chose it to retire to is it is the most Western of the Southeast Asian countries. And, you know, that's an example of it. Spoons and forks instead of chopsticks. Different. So juice every day. You got to do something every day. Kind of a message if you're out hustling, you're a wholesaler, looking for deals. It's a grind, and it's something you got to do every day, or it's not effective. It's a hobby, not a business, like I said. Business is up, as I mentioned. We got the alcohol. I told you that's a long-term deal. I'll make a lot of profit from it. More and more, I'm introducing things onto the menu that have the right numbers, because everything I checked so far had the wrong numbers. 40%, 41%, 43%. So they had French fries, and they charged 70 baht, a little bit more than $2 for 200-gram serving, which is pretty big. That's an appetizer. You can just come and get fries and dip it in like a yogurt garlic sauce, which nobody ordered. I made a roasted garlic mayonnaise, which, once again, once the snack crowd gets here, I think it will go. And on the burgers and on the hot dog special, the cut cost, I cut it down to 100 grams, which is still a decent serving of fries. It's like a small, it's what you'd receive with a small thing at McDonald's. And so that cut the food cost in half. Instead of 26 baht for a serving of fries, it's 13 baht, right? So we have the kebab, which I've shown, you know, look back at there's videos with kebab turning around on the spit, chicken, seasoned chicken. And we put it into a pita and we sell it for 100 baht. That pita cost us 43 baht. Now I made a deal with a different vendor to get the chicken cheaper, saved 2 baht. Now it's 41 baht. Not a big whoop, but hey, everything right direction. Down is down. It's good. You know, my goal being less than 25%. So we're at 41 baht for 100 baht pita. The plate, which simply means the pita plus fries. A serving of fries gets added and put on a plate. Runs 170. What the old owners did was simply took the price of the 200 grams of fries, the appetizer, and added it to the price of the pita. So what I told my two girls, Nui and Yui, when they talk to customers, the classic, would you like fries with that? It's funny, right? But it's true, because by buying the fries, now they're paying $170 instead of $100. That, number one, gets the gross up. We talked about the gross and how important it is. Get the gross up, because you're always going to have a percentage, of the net. So the more the gross is, the more you net. It's pretty simple math. Number two, the food cost when they buy the 170 baht with the 13 baht of fries goes from 41% down to 32. Ding, ding, ding. 25 to 35%. What most restaurants operate. So I know I can pay my overhead. I know I can pay my rent. I know I can pay my staff if we're selling kebab plates, but not if we're selling kebab pitas. So by telling the girls to upsell, and would you like fries with that? Now they're selling the plates instead of the pitas, the falafel pita, the hummus pita, the kebab pita, all three pitas, they're pushing plates. And all of a sudden we went from unworkable food cost to reasonable food cost. And I will get it lower. Believe you me, I will get it lower. Anyway, guys, before this thing shuts off again and shuts me up, that's it for today. Big shout out to my boy Mike Smithgal in San Diego, California. He took my 6 videos, it turned out to be, of going to the stores in the market a couple days back, and not only put them together, concatenated them, as we call it back in the day with IT, but he also did some editing and some zoom in and out and put some music in, and he stayed up until past midnight doing that. And I'm like, dude, what the hell are you doing? You can do that tomorrow. He's like, I'm bored. I have absolutely nothing to do, quarantine fever. So he spent way too much time on that project just out of sheer boredom. But I appreciate it anyway. Kap Kun, Mike, you are the man. I appreciate it. And that's it for today, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.